Okay, sorry if this gets a little jumpy since I'm walking, and even on level ground, I am not the most graceful of walkers, ladies, whatever you want to say. Anyway, I titled this one A Price to Pay because everything has a price. And someone wisely told me years ago, you can have anything you want. Financially, spiritually, emotionally, intellectually, whatever it is your goal, you can have it, but you're going to pay a price for it. Whether that's, again, financially, spiritually, emotionally, intellectually, you're going to pay a price. I have been dealing with a health issue that has made me less active than I used to be, and being out here now has made me come out and just, my husband would, at least 4 times a week, he and I just take a walk around the property, just looking. We saw all the turkey scratches, and knew where to put the game cameras to see their movements. And it's been good, but my price is physical. Today is Monday. Friday I planted the 4 chestnut trees and the 6 fig trees by myself. And even though I used the truck to haul, I did, I just get in the water. I filled 5-gallon buckets with water, and then had to kind of put the water into another empty bucket and kind of half that for me to be able to pick it up and carry. I fell, hurt myself, and my thumb is now starting to feel okay. Busted my knee. That's typical. All my childhood photos, if my knees are showing, one or both are scabbed up from a fall. And paying the price. And then Saturday, all the stuff that happened. I kind of mentioned that in the tree farm video. Finding all those chestnuts. It came out to 28 that I potted. I don't know how I miscounted or something happened to 2 of them. 2 or 3 of them. And just going, doing all the stuff Saturday. And then my daughter and I ended up going to the farmer's market for a plant show. And I was wearing my mud boots and wasn't home, so I couldn't change shoes. And the shoes I had in the car would have been even worse. So my feet have been, they just hurt. The bottoms of my feet are just aching. But I loved it. I had a great time. And that's the physical price of doing things your body's not used to doing. And then I spent money. Those pomegranate trees were not cheap by what I consider. I don't like going over $10 to buy a plant. It really, and I bought 5 plants over $10. And that hit me financially. I try to stick to a strict budget, and there was no budget. There was no money for me to buy plants with. I did it anyway. My husband's okay with it. He knew what was going on with that, and he knew that I've been looking for witch hazel in particular, and he's thrilled about the pomegranate trees. And even though the guy gave me a price break, it was still, not in the budget. So I won't be eating out unless someone else is paying. Got to work out something. Maybe I will need to trade some chickens soon. I can't wait for that thistle to start blooming. It looks like it's starting to make some heads. I think I ran over it. I try not to when I came through with the truck. I know, who wants thistles growing on their property? I do. And I think these are wild woodberries, a type of something in the strawberry family. They make pretty red berries, look just like strawberries. The seeds are red. They don't turn black or green like on the strawberry plant. But anyway, I'm thrilled about the thistles even. Having some volunteers out here. And as far as I know, this is the only place that they are on our property. This is where we saw a deer come out of the bushes as we were coming down here, walking the property in between the floods, and we saw a 6-pointer jump out of there, almost ran up to us until it realized we were standing there watching. And then that's when my husband went hunting that night and got a 3-pointer, nice, good size. So we're still eating off of that in the from the freezer. But it's a price, just getting that deer. It took us way past midnight processing that deer, skinning it, taking it apart, breaking it down to where we could put it in the refrigerator. And then it took me a couple of days of further breaking it down into baggies, and I experimented with making venison bacon. Tastes great. It will not get crispy. It's on the chewy side, so I cook it like a flank steak and then slice thin strips against the grain to try to make it a little bit easier to chew on. But I've been told that's crazy. You should just taken it to a processor and paid $60-$70 to have it all done up and ready. But okay. Ooh, another thistle. I hadn't noticed that one here. I'm not willing to pay the $60-$70 when I can go ahead and do it. And it was work, but it was good work. That's how I help keep us within a budget. So that deer never left our property after it was shot. In fact, it was shot, my husband said it came down this way. I don't know if you can see the deer stand up there in the trees right there, but he said it came around and he got it. He was not in there 10 minutes. He was wearing a blue t-shirt. He didn't change, blue jeans and a blue t-shirt. And he came out here because he was so thrilled from seeing that 6-pointer earlier. But the price of that deer was several days for me to be doing all the stuff I did. Some of the bigger pieces of meat from that, I corned like you do corned beef. I did a corning process that takes 3 to 7 days in the fridge, and then I put it in the freezer. I think we may have a turkey hen somewhere up there nesting, so I don't want to bother her. And we try to put water out. I got a bucket over here with water for the animals, for the deer. I don't know if our cats are ranging out this way, but I need to fresh that up in the next day or so. So the bucket. So I just don't want mosquitoes breeding in it. That's the price you pay. If you neglect those things, you come out and you're going to get swarmed with mosquitoes. And there is. We were debt free for so many years, and we went into debt to buy this property, which has curbed other things. When we bought the property 2 years ago, I had just started, fell in love with camping. We were going camping every chance we got, just weekend trips. And my favorite place is Hunting Island, south of Beaufort, South Carolina. Beautiful place. If you get a chance, do use that. Go there because it is so much better. Not Huntington Island, Hunting Island. It is, I can highly recommend that. But we bought the property 2 years ago. We've not gone camping except here in the camper. But we're working toward the life where the only reason for us to go to Hunting Island is to be at a beach. You know, this is a life I don't feel I need a vacation from. We actually, my husband set up a tent Halloween, and my niece and nephew came, and my grandkids are about the same age, and they had a great time. I hid jars of candy along a pathway, and before it got dark, they had to hunt for the candy, and they had a blast. My nephew said that was the best Halloween he's ever had, and he's turning 12 this year. So I think that's going to become a tradition. So we kind of walked with them and took pictures, and we drank wine by the fire pit. And my husband set up our big tent, and my sisters and the kids, they slept in the tent. Just downhill from our house, which is fine. And they liked it, and it cost us nothing except the time to put all that together. So, and it was great family time. So next year I hope to, well, later this year I hope to do that again, and invite some more kids and have smaller jars of candy for them to find more. And maybe I should set a limit. Once you find 2, you have to quit looking or something, and help the other ones. And I don't know birds, so I need to dedicate some time and effort to learning about the wildlife as well as the trees and plants that are growing here. And everything, I should have said time. That's another resource. Financial resources, your intellectual resources. Because sometimes I learn so much at one time that nothing sticks. So I have to back myself up, and then that takes more time. There's another pathway that went up that way. But that's where the creek came from, that clear-cut property, and went down through here. Oh, now we're getting back to where you can see our house. But I'm paying the price now physically. And when you get physically exhausted and you're in physical pain, my back was hurting so bad. And I was doing some exercise, some wobble ball stuff and things, and that really did help alleviate the pain. But when I went to lay down, that's when it's the worst, trying to just roll over something right between my shoulder blades. Very, very painful. What was that? Anyway, when you're in pain, you also have less tolerance for your own stupidity and the stupidity of other people. So maybe it's a good thing I'm taking a Facebook ban. I ban myself from political posts. If I see anything political, I just scroll by. I ban myself from reposting any political posts unless it's something really hilarious and not too derogatory. I don't like anything. I see no need to say a woman is ugly, or anything negative about a woman's appearance, even if she is not attractive. I just find that there's no need to be unkind. Now, if someone wants to say something about someone's character, male or female, okay, that's important to me, But just to say this political female is, whatever, and it's about her appearance. That's just wrong. And I'm seeing a lot of stuff, and a lot of things are just asinine. And I don't have time for that. I don't have time for people to be unkind in any way. I mean, if you want to share information, that's great. I love information. I love learning. But to sit there and say so-and-so's a moron, well, that may be, but you're a jerk for just saying that. Why are they a moron? What did they do that was so dumb? And dates, events, things like that. I need to get this before this rots. I want to get this burl to someone with a bandsaw, and maybe get some small cutting boards cut out of this. Just cut along that. Just cut back on it. Slice it like a loaf of bologna or salami. So that's another project. I got to get this up into the truck and take it somewhere, or borrow someone's bandsaw and bring it here. So And this is where a lot of the side of our drive will wash out coming down here. There's a lot of sand and clay. See more trees. This is all from when we had to clear the property. But everything has a cost. And if you're willing to pay that cost, go for it. If you're not willing to pay the cost, don't do it. I mean, and the tree situation, I thought this was very appropriate. They said that the question was, when is the best time? Someone asked, when is the best time to plant trees? And the answer is 10 years ago. Well, I had that one chestnut tree for 3 years in a pot. I wanted to plant it on the property we were at, because we were not planning on moving. The way this all happened, another story, another time. We were never planning on moving. We were happy where we were at. I mean, there were a lot of things I didn't like. I loved coming out here and not seeing any neighbors. And over there was no way to avoid them. And I liked most of the neighbors. It's just there was no privacy. It was a long, narrow lot, and you can see everyone's homes, and they can see ours. So it stayed in the pot, and then when we bought this property 2 years ago, I wanted to plant it out here, but I had no idea what we were going to do. Initially, we were going to use those shipping containers as our home. Now they're just going to end up as storage and maybe a craft area for me. Again, my husband's time is limited too. He works full time, and he's been helping our daughter and son-in-law with their move and their stuff, so our things have been pushed to the back. And he's been hauling stuff from the old property and there over here too, so this pile is growing. That's our rue. And I've been doing what I can do as I can do it, and trying to have mercy and grace on my own use of resources. But I have to set my priorities and then be flexible within that to if someone else's need come up, that sometimes I can